and welcome to the NXT review. We are the Dudley Boys of What Culture. I'm Adam Wilbourn, joined by Michael Hamflett and Michael Sidgwick, here to review everything that happened on last night's episode of NXT. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we don't review the show, formerly known as NXT 2.0. AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on wrestle culture. As said, though, joined by Hamflett and Sidgwick to review last night's NXT. I sense they're going to be both grumpy about it. But what did you make of the show?
If we could monetize more content on NXT than just this podcast, because we can't, it would be time for the "It's official, NXT has lost the plot." ... for a bit, because they might pick it back up when everybody finally gets sick of all these wrestlers. It has lost the plot. Like, this building anger I've had towards just any old guy coming on the show and being like, and I'm here to do this thing. And it's invariably for a title or whatever, for some show coming up, because there's always a show coming up, and there's always a title to fight for. Half the time it's not even an NXT title. It's gone off the deep end. Like, what? There are about 3 or 4 things that I want to isolate for praise on this show, which I like more than Sidgwick and like less than you. That's where we've been at with NXT for a while, right? And there are a few things I want to isolate for praise. They are exclusively the things that feature NXT characters that have been involved in NXT storylines on NXT, the show that's written on this screen here. It's gone daft, and I'm sick of it. This, like, I thought it was a WWE, AEW, can we stop signing wrestlers? It kind of killed AEW's vibe, like, for a good couple of years, realistically. It's visibly harming, like, WWE in 2025 in terms of, like, creative attention. Or it, like, welcomes...
Stopgaps, aren't they?
Yeah, it welcomes slapdash creative because it's just like, oh, here's this person. And we've all seen it a million times. Every company makes the mistake. It's greed for multiple different things. Greed for wrestlers, greed for viral moments, all that sort of stuff. This episode took the piss like almost nothing else I can ever remember. Like, TNA, AAA, LFG, 5 minutes here or there in NXT regulars. People that have jumped from AEW within, the last 2 months? 3 months, if that are, half of them are already on the bloody way at the main roster. Like, it's out of control. It is a mess. It is, like, and I mean this, like, from a creative point of view, because of all the new stuff, of all the new people and all these wrestlers you've now got to give a shit about, how many of them
Thanks
are
for censoring yourself.
Sorry, yeah. How many of them are in, like, stories that are just going to feature, like, next 2-3 weeks on NXT? Almost none of them. It was like, right, well, I've got to tune in this garbage TNA show to find out what happens. I've got to watch friggin' Worlds Collide, like, which I kind of already have to a bit of anyway, because there's, like, Stephanie O'Care's in a match and Chad Gable is in a match, and, like, so little of it feels joined up. It's just, want some more? Found a few wrestlers kicking out backstage and shove them out there. It is a mess.
I'm proud of you. Applying critical thought and standards, because this has happened in other promotions and they got slaughtered for it.
Yeah.
This show, sorry.
That's right, I had loads of fun with it regardless.
Okay.
What you two want to moan about?
This show, I'm not exaggerating, tests both my patience, ability to concentrate, and no hyperbole or exaggeration whatsoever, my sanity. Week after week after week. It vaguely resembles something that I have a weird relationship with, and I acknowledge that, okay? It closely resembles a form, professional wrestling, the very absolute apex of which is the best thing ever. The absolute, I mean, that's why we're all here, right?
Yeah.
The absolute apex of an Omega Okada match, a 1998 Steve Austin angle, like just something really funny. It's just the best thing that can just unlock every single thing in my head and just make me go frenzied with just joy of how brilliant it can be, okay? So NXT is, therefore, something I am inclined to like. Week after week after week after week, I see total factory production line, generic, samey slop in this ridiculous world that I cannot take seriously, packaged within an inch of its life with stupid characters, stupid booking, the most artificial acting performances you'll ever see. I hate it, right? It is already a test of I feel like there's something wrong with me. I go on certain websites, another 7.5 out of 10, solid show.
That's what this week's got.
And I'm like, what? How can you watch this and think, it's all right, nice little time on a Wednesday or on a Tuesday. And then like watch something like genuinely good and think, that's not too far away from that. It tests my sanity every single week. This particular episode felt like a bespoke torture experience for my psyche. I'm not joking either. I try hard, and I've tried harder recently, to just burst the bubble in which we all operate in this online space, and the discourse and the noise and the rampant hypocrisy and tribalism. I do try. I couldn't with this. I couldn't. It was as if this show was specifically configured, written, produced, performed, conceived, whatever, specifically to reveal its own target audience as utter, complete hypocrites. I felt crazy watching this. No, I'm not joking. And I wouldn't take that lightly as well. I think we've all been open about our various struggles over the years with mental health, and I do have anxiety. I'm not being flippant. I felt... my brain felt scorched when I was watching this. 2020, right? You get... Brody Lee, Matt Hardy, FTR, various others throughout the rest of the year. Miro comes in later. And you're just told, WWE cast-offs in this All Elite Wrestling. WWE cast-offs in this All Elite Wrestling. We've got, not another one? Mariah May. And I've been told as well, AEW doesn't tell stories. AEW doesn't tell stories. They just do, how am I meant to know who this person is? I just use Google or infer who this person is from the star reaction they got, because these people consider them stars clearly, so they've done half the job. I need a video package. I don't understand. Mariah May turns up. She's here! By the way, I thought it was meant to be AEW. I thought it was meant to be an absolute outlaw mud show, flippy, gymnastics, disgrace, botch. It's good now, isn't it? Because Mariah May's your next NXT Women's Champion. Might even happen as soon as Evolution. Ricky Saints, Ethan Page, bang, bang, title. Where's the video package? How am I meant to know who Mariah May is? Okay.
Second in a row with Ricky Saints. He did the exact same thing.
Yeah. I know. Also, Kenny Omega's going to wrestle El Hijo del Vikingo. That's a dream match. No, it isn't. Who's El Hijo del Vikingo? That's not somebody I've ever heard of. Therefore, I can't like them. AEW with its random matches. We're doing Worlds Collide. When is it? Sunday? Saturday, yeah. Everything I have been told in really obnoxious trolling, and I shouldn't be falling for it. I hate myself when I say this. Everything I have been told AEW does wrong, and it would never get, never reach the casual fans with going on like this. It was like, all of it was on NXT last night. All of it. And guess what? It's fine now. And I know these are just people with little going on in their lives who don't like their favorite promotion being attacked because they have this parasocial identity and relationship with an evil empire. And I get it, and I shouldn't be listening to them. It's just everything I've been told that AEW does wrong or whatever. And now they're doing it. And, I just felt like I was like, I cannot believe what I'm watching here. I cannot believe it. And as away from that discourse, away from, that noise that I shouldn't be paying attention to anyway, right? Bad on its own deranged terms. Like, I'm not just saying this. If you're an AEW fan, there is a buy-in of you at least have had to have watched probably one, if not two, other promotions to have been on board with it in the first place. Either New Japan or WWE, because you like Chris Jericho and John Moxley and you're disillusioned with WWE, but you know about it because you had to be disillusioned
to look
by
like
it.
a big show. It had to look something like what a mainstream
But to
wrestling
get
show looks like,
all of those pops and to know what's going on, you either had to go, oh, it's a new thing and I hate the Fed. Oh, Ambrose and Jericho are in. That could be my way in. Oh, Jim Ross is commentating on that. Oh, I really love the Elite. Really love that story across New Japan, Ring of Honor, being the Elite. I'm going to get on board with this. I really liked All In. Didn't know much of the All In had hype. What I'm saying is AEW fans, and you can tell by the reactions to the certain star names who come in, there's a buy-in, there's an expectation that the AEW fan base knows who these wrestlers are, right? With this WWE, it's like they don't know. Then they're just, I know you take the piss. I've been waiting for Laredo Kid to show up. You don't know who he is. You got no idea, absolutely not a clue, and yet you're popping because, you're meant to pop. I was driven mental by this. Mental, and it's like, Mariah May, can you not have a video package? Can you not treat it like a big star? I'm talking like sheer promotion, right? We'll get, you know what, I'm going to wait because I feel like this intro's gone on. No, I'm not. I'm on it now. Where's the video package? Where's the vignette? How am I meant to know who she is? It drives me absolutely nuts, this. And it shouldn't. And I hate myself. But this, every single thing I've been told, other than like people bleeding, they show how everything like this big pearl clutching. It's like a pearl clutcher mania.
I felt, maybe for even some similar reasons and some different reasons, like a kind of anger, which I don't normally get towards a wrestling show I don't like. I'll sometimes be, that was disappointment. I'll be bored more often than not. And then
yeah, same.
The feeling of boredom creates a sense of anger after the fact of like, oh, my time was wasted, or it wasn't best spent, or whatever. You know those after like a Super Bowl or something, or a World Series, when there'll be videos of like people that have put some pretty big money on it and like throw a shoe at the telly or something, and the vibe in the room goes pretty weird, and it's, oh man, the telly falls off the wall. It's like, when that with the fucking iguana turned up, like, I
like him.
Because what I should do,
I know me and Wilbourn.
We talked about Mr. Iguana yesterday.
We did.
All about him.
Mr. Iguana. And
what's his finish?
The puppet iguana man. And he probably bites. He does what Jake did Savage, but instead of with a snake, it's with an iguana. There you go. Like, that's the perfect example, because I should have been like, oh, look at Mr. Iguana. He popped up on the preview yesterday in a random stop of like Pez, the AAA roster. And like, let's be honest, you said, oh, can we stop on him because he's called Mr. Iguana,
yeah.
right?
I like him.
On any other week in any other era, I should be like, Mr. Iguana's here. But I was like, enough. Like, I was done with all wrestlers, and like, and he was the least of our worries in hindsight. Wasn't he?
I'm looking forward to our very good friend Mr. Iguana making more appearances.
just sit in front.
I like Mr. Iguana. I like Mr. Iguana. It's called Mr. Iguana.
Yeah, I know. That's the
I know
point.
I know the point you made.
He's a little bit green in this business, but you know.
That's what he's in NXT for, right?
Yeah.
That, like, the frigging trios match next week, where like them three lads are out there in the ring. And it's like, oh, what are we doing in 6 of them? Nothing. You'll forget they ever existed. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. This overextension of whatever it is to WWE's 18 developmental arms, it would seem. Like,
I don't know, man. I think you're being too harsh. I think AAA could make a real crack at being the number 2 promotion in North America.
I had loads of fun with this show. Just enjoy it. I don't know what you've got a problem with it for. Just enjoy it. Sit back and enjoy the show, guys. Stop getting so stressed out.
The artist formerly known as Top Dollar's doing something about this Elijah.
That's great. It was a huge papsy Top Dollar out there.
Was it?
Huh? Mariah May, what a get. I was told she was staying in AEW.
All these WWE cast-offs in AEW. You would never see WWE cast-offs in WWE. Somehow they've contrived to do it. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's not even an AEW cast-offs.
That's exactly. I'm sick of these ex-WWE guys in WWE. Yeah. These ex-WWE guys invading SmackDown like Aleister Black and Andrade. It's off! Like, just the plot has been lost. We're obviously covering loads of the show in the intro rather than doing it chronologically.
We can just skip though. That's good.
Yeah, I can just enjoy it properly, like I did watching the show first time.
To Sidge's point about how much he despises NXT, where I would have often not pushed back because I enjoy watching him unravel when he hates it. Where I would have pushed back for years in terms of my enjoyment of NXT was bizarrely. I would argue even in like 2021 in the Skull and Crew era, or even in the 2.0 era when Vince was still in charge of the main roster. NXT sort of plotted logically. Yes, the characters were illogical. Yes, the universe was impossible. It couldn't exist. Hidden cameras, whatever. Like invisible cameras, but also hidden ones.
Both.
Yeah, both. And yet, for the most part, the plotting was apparent. It was like Triple H and then Shawn Michaels were like, well, we're going to put them over at Stand and Deliver. So now you're going to see them have this run.
There was a point when NXT's stuff was so, and like I never liked it earnestly or thought it was worthy or artful or good or whatever, but you couldn't deny. Look what they did with Von Wagner's arc. Yeah. It's like they're telling a story.
It was an attempt at star making.
Yes.
All the time. It was like here, like A to B to C. Are they getting more over? They are actually a bit. Right, well, we'll push them into this spot now. Push like the Stand and Delivers or the Battlegrounds or whatever were fun to fantasy book if you were invested, because it was like, well, by this point they might be at that point in the card, and then what's going to happen then, you know? And it was like the roster was relatively smooth about like, well, right, and they're going to probably get called up after this. And that was fine. It was functional. It didn't feel bloated. You had the cast, you know. It's done.
Done.
It is done.
In their defense, they have just had like loads of people just completely pulled out at a moment's notice.
Yeah, but like, which, yes, is the point of it, by the way. And there's a frigging performance center full of other ones that should be ready to like.
That's what they showcased with.
From 18 other promotions.
That's what they showcased when JC James out there. They're like, look at all the other talent that could soon be women's champion now. And Mariah May, what a get. Not another Tony fumble, goodness sake. Anyway, let's get into this show. We started with the North American title summit, sort of. Laredo Kid and Javon Evans are in the ring. Out comes the champion. Ethan Page calls this all a farce. Says Ray Phoenix is stuck
folks.
Ray Phoenix is stuck on a plane somewhere. That's funny.
What a fucking loser Ray Phoenix is, by the way. Like, he don't even show up at work. He's going to work the pay-per-view if he even makes it in time. And it's just like anyone else that's like a bit like Ray Phoenix, you'll do. Like, or just replaced like that. Like, that is so telling that even if this is a shoot and this is 100% real and he's missed the show, they've just gone, like, about 6 other. This is kind of the worst time to miss the flight, mate, because there's about 6 people we put in that match instead of you.
Imagine thinking, like, after like some. Yeah, I actually got bored of the Phoenix matches towards the end of AEW. And I'm not just saying that because he's on SmackDown now. Go back and listen to our Will Ospreay Phoenix review. Yeah. I did think, are we done with Phoenix here? Are we kind of done?
Fresh coat of paint WWE. The
yeah.
Theoretically.
But like, can you imagine like before when he was actually like really good? It's like, now he's going to end up in NXT a month and a half after debuting on the main roster, and he's going to miss a flight or get stuck on a plane and no one's going to give it a rat's ass. You think, oh, holy hell, something's gone badly wrong.
One day in the very, very near future, Phoenix is going to wrestle Vikingo, and Kenny Omega's going to look great. Like, that's what's going to happen there.
Kenny Omega looks great taking a So I don't know what point you're trying to make. I'm going to stop swearing as much.
We've got him in early.
I know he's got to go home and see his kid, you know.
He says Ethan Page should be celebrating in the middle of the ring. There's 2 losers in there. He wants to be tap dancing on the memory of Ricky Saints, and now instead he's got to share this championship celebration with them, then defend the title on Saturday, and then apparently Ava, she hasn't got to say anything, she's Rock's daughter, general manager of NXT. She set up a title defense for some Evolve kid called Sean Legacy, and the worst part of it all is he didn't agree to any of this. It's Ricky Saints that did. Laredo.
Why do you go for his title?
Laredo Kid says Page is all talk. He's got no walls. And Javon Evans says, you cost me my match on SmackDown. Page says that's what happens when you get involved in my business. Evans says, well, I'll just take your title at Worlds Collide. Page goes to leave, but here comes Sean Legacy, who says, look, it's going to be an honor to face Laredo Kid. He's not finished with his back and forth with Javon Evans. And he hopes it's not Ethan Page he has to face next week. But regardless, he's got a chance to win the Evolve Championship tomorrow. And then he's interrupted by the Vanity Project. That is Swipe Right, Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes. Great to see them back. And Jackson Drake, who, of course, is going up against Sean Legacy for the Evolve Championship, as we all know. They come down to the ring.
I feel like Shibata having my brain just like scooped out. Like already, well, like Sean Legacy's got that big Ethan Page title match, which has been like rearranged about 5 different times. But then he might be winning the Evolve title, which is probably why this stable that you don't give a toss about just turned up to say something about that.
We like Swipe Right here.
Look, I liked them a few weeks ago as like special guests. Like at this point, there's about 300 special guests. The NXT regulars are the special guests. Like Ethan Page, the North American champion, is talking about a match that's going to take place on Worlds Collide with wrestlers he is not involved in a feud with ahead of a Sean Legacy match that, yet again, let me say, has been rearranged like 3 separate times.
He has feuded with Javon Evans, to be perfectly fair.
Oh, yeah, done it in the past.
So,
right there.
What?
Javon Evans
not
moved,
involved with, or
Javon Evans moved.
Which one is it? Did he get involved in the SmackDown match or not? I can't remember.
Javon Evans moved into the main event of a show that we attended that Ethan Page opened up with against who? Ricky Saints, the guy that he continues to feud with. Like, you cannot have it. You cannot have it 6 ways.
He's got a damaged larynx. He's not feuding with him anymore. He's taken him out of the picture. Javon Evans is fighting for him, his friend.
I didn't know Sean Legacy was fighting for the Evolve title. That made the situation worse. Like, fingers crossed I can win this secondary title in NXT because I can win this, what is it, even tertiary and Evolve belt? Like, what's that?
I don't know what the hell that is.
What's the value of that? What's the value of any of this?
All I know is these goddamn Volvos.
These Volvos.
You keep coming in and goddamn PC. Dick my Joe.
Ricky Smokes calls the Vanity Project the hottest faction in Evolve, and Brad Baylor.
What's that even worth?
How do you know how bleak Evolve is? It's like, oh my God. Yeah, I've only seen clips. Why would I ever watch that from beginning to end? Awful, awful stuff.
But Brad Baylor's back. Hundo Smokes. Hundo, he says. He says, our boy Jackson Drake's going to take care of you tomorrow night on Evolve, and he's taking the title home with him. And for the rest of the bums in the ring, Ethan, we've got your back. And this allows Ethan Page to jump Sean Legacy from behind. It's a big brawl. And Vanity Project and Ethan Page get sent to the outside with Legacy, Evans, and Kidd doing a big dive onto them, and security has to separate everybody.
I will say one thing more about Evolve before we get to whatever's next. I've seen clips of it. Maybe it looks like the bright lights elsewhere. The clips I see of Evolve that are almost exclusively posted to Twitter to get dunked on for how shoddy it looks. It makes WrestleMania 36 look like a 1996 Nitro. It's so bleak. You know, it looks so bleak.
The ceiling fan.
Yeah.
I wish I had a ceiling fan to look at.
NXT UK, I misjudged you. Yes. Anything you want to say about this?
It's a mess, isn't it? It's a bloody mess. Like, there's no stories here. It's just a line of contenders and a champion and maybe a match tonight because you said this about it's just, no, there's absolutely nothing going on here. And, like, and Ethan Page is the conscience of all of this. Like, he's the still point in this turning world. So that's zero likable elements.
We see new AAA mega champion El Hijo del Vikingo is in the house. And then we get our first match of the evening. It's Chase U.
Oh! Teachable moment!
Against the Dark State. They slide right in and start beating down. Andre Chase, by the way, already looks annoyed with Dixon and Connors as they're making their enter. Too excitable, basically. They need to be focusing down, but that doesn't happen. And Uriah Connors gets
Too busy thinking of puss.
Gets his ass handed to him early on. Dion Lennox comes in and hits a backbreaker into a Boston Crab. It all breaks down. Chase U fights back with some super kicks, but then Osiris Griffin suplexes both Connors and Dixon, and they do that awesome toss, sit-out powerbomb thing that they do to pin Kale Dixon and get the win for Dark State.
Hey, Chase U versus Dark State. Did you get less ugly? Like, this match was nothing, but, like, at least these are something. Like, this was progression for Dark State, and it was... like Andre Chase wondering what the bloody hell he's got into.
He's got to take these kids back to school.
That's it, yeah. Like this is what I actually watch NXT for. Like a bit of basic plotting and maybe a bit of in-ring development and maybe a bit of character development too. Was it any good on its own terms? Absolutely not. But that's all right. I can wave that away on this developmental show if I feel that there is something that I can watch the progression of. And in both cases here, I could.
Yeah, I mean, Dark State are impossible to take seriously as disillusioned, violent,
Contract signers.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They're impossible to take seriously. I do think this Chase U thing's got legs. As I say, most weeks, Hamflett's not really thinking the long view, but maybe he is having praised us a little bit. They're going to say, God damn it. What do you study at Chase U, huh? What do you study? You study sports entertainment and how to win. You two jerk-offs. Too busy studying English literature, if you know what I'm saying.
Very nice.
Math, calc, and frig.
Now that TNA are here, do you think they've started studying Sex 101?
Yeah.
It's no, not sports entertainment extreme, just sports entertainment.
Yes. You got to knuckle down. Huh? Get your head out the girls' boxes and get your head in some books.
Bone up.
Bone up. No, get down. Yeah, bone up. God, these guys are never going to get it. They're going to have way more fun with it, I would say. They're not having any fun with this Chase. He doesn't feel fun.
Andre Chase is not having any fun with it.
I think it's going to be fun next week when they go back to the classroom. What the hell was that?
Yeah.
There should be a skit. The production values, they don't give a toss about bespoke sets really anymore.
No.
They're I feel like those bloody assholes over at TKO. Huh?
I knew it was them. It's always them.
Even when I thought it was WWE, I knew it was TKO.
NXT. Forgiven!
Yeah. TKO, it's they're not going to restaurants for Tony D no more. There's no Chase U. I haven't seen the Chase U lecture hall in quite some time.
Guys used to go to the beach and steal their shoes.
Yeah.
There was also outdoor shoots. There's all sorts going on.
Location stuff.
Yeah.
There's very minimal location stuff. But if there would be, they should have a thing where, Chase U, it's where's Connors and Dixon? Mm-hmm. Where's Connors and Dixon, huh? It's they haven't showed up to class. And then they have to go to the dorm room. And they're still, nursing hangovers. And goes, God damn it, where's your books? And Andre Chase tosses over the duvet, and it's two co-eds sucking their dicks. And it's come on, guys. Do that on your own time. You're on Andre Chase's time now. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
That kind of thing, yeah.
Anyway, Legacy, Laredo, and Javon Evans are complaining to Ava. She says, I didn't even know Vanity Project were going to be here.
I didn't know Vanity Project were going to be here.
But she confirms they're going to have a match tonight, 4-on-4, but they need a partner. And Dragon Lee's there to make up the numbers.
Dragon Lee's here. We got Dragon Lee in. Same difference, I think.
I didn't even know they were going to be here, and I couldn't care less. She don't give a damn about nothing, no.
Sarah Schreiber interviews Trick Williams. He says, look, he knows Mike Santana's a passionate Boricua from the Bronx, but it's the biggest match of his career tonight. He doesn't care how much he screams and shouts. The standard of TNA has changed. Trick's in charge now.
That's a number 2 promotion now.
TNA has been looking for the one to take the company to new heights, to legitimize this TNA world title. And it's not Santana, Elijah, or Average Joe. It's Trick Williams. It's not TNA anymore. It's Trick NA. Let's talk about it.
Trick NA does not roll off the tongue at all.
TNA is not great, is it? I mean, this was developed later on to encourage me to watch TNA, which I will not. So let's give me some clips on next week's episode. That's what I'm saying.
We see Tyra May Steele chatting to Carly Bright in the locker room. They're not bickering for once. She says winning the first season of LFG was incredible, and disappointing the Undertaker's about as scary as being in the Olympics.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Just think Deadman made them put that line in when she didn't look scared enough the other week.
Yeah.
Come on, Sean, fix this.
But Ariana Grace is back.
Oh my God.
She loves all of this. She says, but if you're seeking inspiration from a winner, I've won multiple beauty pageants. I hate gossip, says Ariana Grace, but what I've heard might be true. Those gold medals you carry around, not even 100% gold, are they? Look, you want to fit in, take some advice from me. Don't talk about yourself so much. No one likes a bragger, especially a tacky one. And she walks off, and Tyra's like, I'm going to kick great as I find my first opponent.
Yeah, it's fine. Ariana Grace, she's been gone for ages. Piss farting around in TNA. And again, it's just she's
tagged with her father. She didn't piss fart around, did she? So let's put some respect on it.
With her father.
First ever father-daughter tag team, I think you'll find. You got to say?
No, those are just 2 of the generations. The other ones, of course, the non-are.
Charlie Dempsey versus Miles Bourne for the right to, for Miles Bourne to get his freedom from the Ren QCC. It's a rounds match and first to 3, best of 5, whatever it is. Very even sort of round one, although towards the end, Bourne blocks a butterfly suplex. They do sort of exchange of roll-ups. And Dempsey goes for an ankle pick, but Bourne rolls him over, sits down, 1, 2, 3. He's 1-0 up. Second round, surprisingly, was almost entirely gobbled up by the commercial break.
Bloody hell.
Come back, and they're very evenly matched, and bell rings, but Bourne gives a clean break. Not Charlie Dempsey. Bit of a cheap shot in the ribs. Gets a bit of a telling off by the referee during the break. Round 3 begins. Obviously, Dempsey jumps all over him, and the Regalplex ties it up 1-1. Go into round 4. Dempsey again targets the ribs. Puts him in an octopus hold. Bourne fights back, though. Crowd are with him, obviously. Love Miles Bourne. I think he got like an angle slam in there for a nice 2 count. But Dempsey looks like he might have it all under control. Goes for another Regalplex. That gets blocked. They trade some near falls. And then Bourne hits that picture-perfect dropkick of his for the 1, 2, 3. He is free from the NQCC. But Dempsey refuses to shake his hands afterwards.
I never thought I would see the day where a rounds match for me was comfortably the best thing on NXT. Like, from beginning to end.
What does that tell you?
What does that tell you? I like them coming out together, the split in the stable,
Yeah.
but they tried to enter together. This idea that, like, Miles Bourne just wants to have a go at it alone. He doesn't want animosity. He's actively avoiding animosity, and he's wrestling with the idea in his mind that after this, whatever happens, mutual respect, and he can't get it off Dempsey, and they play that throughout the match and then in the post-match as well. Dempsey wrestling almost bitter that he feels like a protege is lapping him, and like
Shot in the rib was great.
like I like the usage of the rules for the benefit of the characters. Like, Dempsey knows his way around this format because he did it loads when he actually had the Heritage Cup. But Miles Bourne just seems to pick more up every week. His instincts seem to be getting better and better as a breakout babyface. Had me caring about the Ren QCC and the aftermath, because now there's just 3 of them, and where does Ren Sinclair stand? Tavian Heights seems like a good guy, so he doesn't probably gel with the way that Charlie Dempsey's looking at this. Charlie Dempsey is going to become a rare bastard over this. Like, you can tell he's going to have them working harder in the gym and being nastier about it, and he's going to be lashing out because he's been
Just sign this. I've just adapted your NQCC contract. Just sign it. Don't read it.
Yeah, he's been schooled a little bit by a guy that he thought he'd always have the advantage over. I had a perfectly good time with this. And again, maybe it's just this like, the world I want. Where is it? Other than in these 4 or 5 specific segments. Decent.
It was solid, well worked action. I mean, I had to watch it and just think, what the hell is Charlie? What are you doing here with Charlie Dempsey? It's that Tyler Bate, the Pete Dunne thing that I talk about. It's like that. I have never been more certain of anything in my life that Charlie Dempsey will not get over in front of a WWE main roster crowd as long as he lives, ever. It's like he's too technically proficient and a little bit too bland. He needs to carve out a career in Japan. And he needs to be like a Timothy Thatcher.
Yeah.
He is Timothy Thatcher.
He already is as much as he can get away with. He does
Exactly,
all the
you
blood
know what I
sports
mean?
now. He's
It's
finding
like-
his roots into that. Yeah.
In the wrong promotion. In the wrong promotion.
I think it's the best
completely.
role he can play in NXT, this one right now.
No. These well cast, I
Yeah.
guess. And if this can enable people to continue to get behind Miles Bourne, who definitely can get over in this system, very handsome. He's got that look.
I think he's winning a title before the end of this year.
Yes.
One NXT.
Yeah.
Yeah. He should. He should. Him versus Ethan Beige. Why not?
If he can get through the weekend, and Sean Legacy, of course.
Busy shed.
I already forgot it was happening.
Too much to remember.
I loved that, and then I loved sort of even more what came next. The Culling are backstage, having a chat. Well, 3/4 of the Culling, right? Mm-hmm. It's the wild card, the Sean Spears, and this Brooks Jensen. And suddenly, Izzy Dane walks in out of nowhere. Wham! Nails Brooks Jensen with a chair, and she reveals their match, originally scheduled for tonight, has been moved, and Brooks Jensen was never fully committed to their cause. Sean Spears just goes, "You all right?" Leave him laying, which means he's free to join any other, tag teams or groups or whatever going forward. And you've seen surprise, you've seen the downsides of this. What did you make of it all?
Well, I thought of you when this happened.
Yeah.
And I hoped, thinking to myself, well, maybe
Step away now.
look, maybe Inamura's comeback was just a short-lived thing because he knew that like Briggs was missing him and he might be gone again. And it doesn't seem like
He's going to desert him.
Doesn't seem like
go back to
Fallon and JC along for the world together, and so it's like I'm putting those same narrative pieces together.
Yeah.
And I'm also later on in the show, in fact, watching somebody that now plays with the dolls of recently released wrestlers, and we've done lots of content this week on R-Truth being like seeing through his deal, and the Miz potentially seeing through his deal. These unthinkable releases. And I then started to worry about the shoot implications of being kicked out of a stable rather than the worked ones. I'll just say that. So this could go a couple of different ways. They have not been shy about just being like, oh, we're firing them in a couple of weeks. Yeah, I'll just beat them up on telly then. Like, that's sometimes what happens. So this could go a few different ways.
A few different ways, and I will reserve judgment, and I will also say that in terms of the fictional characters that I'm watching on screen, don't care. It's the Culling, for Christ's sake.
So weak.
It's the Culling, for Christ's sakes.
It's so weak, isn't it, the Culling?
Like the idea, like who put it, obviously the answer is Sean Spears, but who put it in Sean Spears' head that he can play sinister and calculated? Like,
I think it was Cody.
Sure hope not, because he's done his friend a disservice there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but maybe it's that thing of like, do people you want. Tell us Island, it's great. Like the Tony Khan thing of like, and then Sean Spears was like, you know what? Very quick, volatile movements in the ring. I'm very controlled as a pro wrestler. I can be a sinister heel. You can't. How many times must this fail? He's after the initial bomb of the Sean Spears character in AEW, right? It bombed after that Cody program, which was quite well done, actually. It bombed, right, in an era where goodwill towards the concept of AEW, the idea of it, would excuse you. Go back and watch the first. I still think the Full Gear run was amazing and would hold up, but like there'll be elements on those shows where it's like, God damn it, people wanted to love this. They wanted to love it. So many wrestlers seem to get over because it's like, oh, they're new, or they're refreshed, or they're rejuvenated. Sean Spears couldn't get over one iota after the Cody feud. And then got a little bit of traction with MJF, who has chemistry with everyone, and MJF got something out of Sean Spears, and that interplay was really cool. Why wouldn't you have the realization then of, I should just be a bit of a clown, a bit of a goof? Maybe it's not up to him. Maybe that idiot Shawn Michaels was like, not for me, I liked it. Be the chairman again. What we're doing here. So many people got over, for God's sake, except him. Him and Joey Janela. Virtually everyone else got over. Kip Sabian. You know, everybody else got over.
OG Dark Order.
Yeah, everybody else got over.
Then we got
Leva Bates. Everybody else.
Tyra May Steele's TV debut against Ariana Grace, showcasing her brilliant wrestling skills that got the gold medal, of course, in Tokyo, I believe it was. Ariana Grace thinks the way to counteract that is by talking trash and hitting her with a big shot, which Tyra May just no-sells. Grace then offers a handshake and gets nailed with lariats, a fireman's carry, AA, German suplex, 1, 2, 3.
I don't know what, and obviously, why would we? It's only been one TV match, but I don't know what the ceiling of these LFG winners is going to be. But I actually quite like the booking. Yeah. Like, if they want to, you know how, like, with Tough Enough and the million different sort of talent show adjacent audition things they've done for bringing talent in, if and when those wrestlers weren't pushed or used in any way, it sort of makes it redundant, doesn't it? This is like series one of your big thing. Why not, give it proof of concept by saying, look what can happen for you. Like, look what's happened to them straight away. But B, make your judges and your legends look like they got it right.
Yeah.
By, like, it legitimizes it a bit. And I know it's all a work.
Or have Stone Cold Stunner, the winner of the competition,
right?
the week they win it.
Yeah. It's a work within a work within a work within a work. So you could put anyone on that talent show and be like, you know what, you're not going to believe it. Somebody's auditioned at WWF New York and we found the greatest wrestler of all time. And it's a work, so you can actually tell that story. Yeah. They might not be able to support the role, but you can tell that. They did so much the opposite that it damaged these kinds of things. I think this is relatively risk-free, decent booking of your LFG winners. They're not going to win the titles at the first attempt, but they're going to get these sort of mini squash runs.
We'll preview that next week. Let's not
Indeed.
get ahead of ourselves.
But wherever they drop down to, like, why not?
Yeah.
Don't mind this.
I will say that she's clearly marketable, got a totally legitimate background. When she was doing stuff imported from said background, looked all right, looked good. Everything that was pro wrestling in this performance was pretty dire. But, I mean, she's been doing it for what?
Go from smiley to serious now.
Yeah, and then there's a clothesline that just looks not good stiff. Like, the movement was, like, janky and stiff. And, like, if you try to do a move, if you try to clothesline Wilbourn right now on camera on YouTube for our fans, it would look like...
Both get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was
Oh,
an
you
element
would,
of...
definitely.
When she was doing pro wrestling, it didn't look good at all. But, I mean, you can't even review this. You can't review it. The point. Like taking it, I've said this before. It's like taking one of my kids' paintings to an art gallery. I'm not reviewing that. It's hopeless. It's nice, but it's hopeless.
NXT wrestling you put right on the fridge.
Yeah.
There's a backstage interview with Sarah.
It actually looks like a fridge, doesn't it? Well, it used to with
In that kitchen, you can.
all those,
it's
those
got
like those letters you put with all the different colours.
Yeah.
Like NXT look
Oh,
like.
yeah.
Finger paints on a stupid fridge.
all the wrestlers every week gather at the performance center, like, who's going to find out which match was on Shawn Michaels' fridge?
Yeah.
Sarah Schreiber chats to Mike Santana. Says, look, I should be taking some time to soak all this in, right? Main event of NXT, fighting for the TNA World title. But he says he'll reflect when he's got the TNA World title on his shoulder. He looked into Trick's eyes last week, didn't see a fighting champion, he saw a pretender. And Santana tonight is fighting for every single person who stepped foot in TNA, fighting for the legacy of TNA. But more importantly, he's fighting for his daughter. He doesn't break his promises. She's going to witness history. Santana knows how great Trick Williams is, but he's going to be 3 seconds better. I like this from Santana. I like
good.
Santana.
He's really good as
He
a
is
promo.
good. This was sort of a mixed bag for me because at the moment, wrestler who wrestles somewhere else has become a gimmick, like on this show alone, but there's a lot of that. Wanting to do it for his daughter and wanting to achieve in areas where he hadn't in the past is like a character trait that you can actually cling on to. I think Santana's making a good case for himself. I should point out, by the way, all of these wrestlers that are getting these opportunities, I'm not against like 1, 10, 50 of them doing so well that they kind of make themselves undeniable and get whatever it is they want out of it. And Santana's one of the only examples I can think of from the 50 we saw, which is like, is he trying to either increase his stock in TNA by how much he's willing to be the cheerleader for it, or make all the right noises to all the right people in WWE to go and get his big WWE deal? Great on both counts for the wrestler. Like, I don't hold any ill will against these wrestlers being given this like golden ticket potentially. Just some cannot really hold the spot they've been given, and he obviously can. And I think you see the gulf as well in someone like Santana who's got enough experience elsewhere to be able to make the most of this versus the ones that just like, what am I doing, boss? Like, and they've got 6 bosses, you know, right there.
Good promo. That's it.
You're going to be tuning into the TNA pay-per-view to see more?
No.
Yeah.
No. I think I'm going to watch
Anything.
some documentaries coming up that I'm looking forward to. They're doing one on the submersible, bro.
Oh, yeah, we'll want to talk about
Yeah.
that. Do that.
What came next was, well, a bit of a celebration to a certain extent of the new NXT Women's Champion. That being 1/3 of Fatal Influence, the other members of it being, of course, Fallon Henley, Jasmine Nix, but the new champ being JC Jane. It's amazing to see her walk around with that belt on her shoulder. I did like the line of,
I'm not looking through my phone. I'm preloading a tweet that I need to reference.
"You all may be shocked, but I'm not." I like that as a way of saying it. If you'll allow me, it gave me a bit Nate Diaz vibes. Nate Diaz, of course, famously shocked the world on short notice, beating Conor McGregor, basically derailing that hype train. He was meant to fight for another title when he held one already in the UFC. He eventually did win both. He was the first ever double-time NXT UFC champion.
The brands that mean the most.
But in amongst that, he was meant to fight for a title. I think the person he was fighting got injured, and they were like, right, just fight Nate Diaz. And Nate choked him out. And first thing he said, Nate Diaz is very much a character who probably wouldn't work on WWE television, but has some lines. First thing he said when he got on the microphone was, "I'm not surprised, mother." And he became like instantly, if he wasn't already, for those in the know, they already knew what a sort of guy he is. He just became like, and I like that I got echoes of that here because yes, Jane gets on the mic and says to everyone, don't cheer for me now, don't get on the bandwagon now. You know, the thing I really got joy out of was not, you celebrating me winning the title. It was the look on everyone's faces. But I wasn't shocked at all. I've put in the work for years. I've gotten better. And me and Fallon, best mates, aren't we? Yeah? We had a long conversation, and we kind of worked it out to do this. That gave me a better chance of winning the title. She calls it the slap heard round the world. And then what's that I hear in the distance? Choo-choo. It's a promo train coming because she's first interrupted by Lainey Reed, who introduces herself. Luckily enough, she's Lainey Reed. Last week, you proved anything's possible, beating Stephanie Vaquer. I was going to wait my turn, but then I realised you're the most people champion of all time.
Good bit that.
Then out comes Lola Vice. Nice reaction for her. She says that NXT Women's Championship, congratulations, but that NXT Women's Championship, it's not about you or Fatal Influence. And it's about time it comes home to Vice City, baby. Then out comes Jordynne Grace, who says, I came to be a part of the best women's division in the world, and I had a plan, but after seeing everything that's happened over the past week, it's apparent that anything can happen. In a world where Trick Williams is the TNA World Champion and Jacy Jayne can beat Stephanie Vaquer. But then she's interrupted by Jada Parker, who says, baby, you had your chance to Jordynne Grace. Everybody knows that I'm the baddest bitch in this place. And that NXT Women's title needs to be around this little waist of mine. Kalani Jordan's out. You know who's beating Jacy Jayne? Kalani Jordan. You know who's never had a shot at that NXT Women's Championship? She doesn't get a chance to say it. It's Kalani Jordan, by the way. Because she's interrupted by one of my favorite interruptions. Skirt! Lash Legends here. She says, nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear you. Zip it. As far as I'm concerned, I see a whole bunch of women who've already had their turn. If anyone's going to be taking that title off JC, it's Lash Legend. Thea Hale, she's got history. She appears. She attacks Jada Parker from behind, and a big brawl kicks off, and then suddenly, bam! The lights are up. Not a factor. And who should appear but a debuting Mariah May?
Oh, my God.
Huge pap, obviously, for her. She says,
Obviously.
She says, I've finally arrived.
I need a video package.
Ladies, you can call me the next NXT Women's Champion. Yeah, probably. Because the best women's division in the world just got a whole lot more glamorous.
One tiny nugget of praise for any of this is it is quite fun for them to acknowledge in the various different ways they did Jacy Jayne as a paper champion. And Jacy Jayne, like, are you kidding me? Like, her believing that she's worthy of it and that they had a plan. And even Fallon Henley's in the ring being like, I mean, they're not wrong.
She's eyeing it up.
I'll get you when I can. That's almost the story. Almost is that it's a paper champion and the throne is right there and anyone can come and take it. That almost.
That's what I took from this. I liked it.
Justifies such a comically oversized promo train. Is this just like the throne is basically there? Or they're treating Jacy Jayne as if the throne is empty.
Imagine them backstage. They're just waiting their turn. Are you going first?
It is.
I'll interrupt you.
I think just running from the locker room.
It is otherwise.
That's what I took it as.
Like, there was a smaller scaled down version of this with the Ethan Page thing at the start of the night because everybody's challenging everybody for everything at the moment. But the rest of this was just, I found it humiliating for the likes of Jordynne Grace in particular. And then to like a lesser extent, Kalani Jordan, and to a lesser extent, so Lola. I was watching this, ranking everybody in it, being like, well, you're the one I feel the most sorry for. And then you, and then you, and then you. And somewhere in the middle of that is Mariah May. Because when we talked about this the other week, I didn't really want her to leave AEW, but I didn't feel like her time in AEW was tenable, to be honest. I think like she was this character. Everyone used the same phrase, territory run. Like, came in, told the story, left. She has come in with a story, in theory, which is, throne's available. Now's the time for me to take it. I've picked my moment, which I'm assuming is what they're going to go with her. And she could win the title on the grounds of that. I don't have a lot of faith in this best women's division ever to actually run storylines. And that was what Mariah May needed more than anything else, more than matches, as evidenced by when she actually won the belt. She needed a storyline and a good one at that with the ace of the company / division.
I do. I genuinely do have faith in them getting this right.
What were the last 3 stories in the women's division that weren't to do with the belt?
Ooh, that is a very good question.
JC Jane and Thea Hale in Chase U. That was completely dependent.
That was class
separated from the belt
as well.
Like, what else? Like, what?
I think Mariah May's getting the belt straight away.
The metaphor a bit. Like,
Lola Vice had the feud with
Brick Ass
Jada
Crowbar
Parker.
for the
Brick
20
Ass
frames.
Crowbar.
Yeah.
They've done some stuff. It's not been very good, but they've done it.
I don't know.
I think she's going to win the belt very quickly, and then she's suddenly going to be like, oh, bollocks, Jordan Grace. And that's going to be a hell of a feud. If they don't take Jordan straight up to the main roster, obviously.
She already feels part of the churn.
Disagree, personally.
Okay.
Genuinely disagree.
Yeah,
on
that's
that.
right. Yeah, I watched this and I was like, I understood this idea. I was like, yeah, all he used, but I'm way above it. I was like, actually, no, I think he's stuck in the sludge already. Like, I didn't get a great deal out of this.
Right. I lost my head here. I tweeted May 30th, 2025, and it was pretty much, I think this was the day that Mariah May, I mean, it's been trending in one direction for a while.
Everyone knows she's a WWE fan.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain this was the day, hence why I tweeted about it, where the roster page she was removed from it, etc. I tweeted, and I swore on it, so I'll stop myself.
Thank you.
The most amplified thickos will declare it cinema regardless. But Mariah May to WWE is very interesting optics-wise. Levesque doesn't have it in him to do anything like the Hollywood ending. This isn't some give-a-f sideways move like Andrade or Rusev. Could be embarrassing. And just to expand on that, I almost didn't tweet it because how much do things matter? This battle of perception on social media, and yeah, AEW feels hotter and it's getting better and da-da-da-da. Bottom line will never matter. And if you treat wrestling analysis like that, there's no point in saying anything. But basically, there are people who will go, didn't want her anyway. She wasn't as good as Toni Storm. From the AEW side, from the WWE side, this is a group of people online, who received Lexis King as this great new hope, great white hope of professional wrestling. Are you taking the piss out of me? And I don't know where he is, and I don't think anyone much cares.
His chair's broken down.
Yeah.
Till the wheels fell off.
To the people who care and to the people who are discerning, and maybe, just maybe, this will result in enough of a shift where AEW can sell more tickets and feel hot and louder and talked about. Obviously, WWE's never going to lose. Ever. They were beating them with Pritchard before Levesque took over. People forget this. Maybe because we're trending in a positive direction in AEW, more tickets will be sold, and then the boom will just end for the Fed, and they'll get the 7,000, 8,000 instead of the 13, 14, 15s, you know? What I'm getting at here is how is this going to go for Mariah May and WWE? It's not going to be the Toni Storm feud. It isn't. And that was a lot of it unfolded when AEW was thought to be finished. It couldn't have been that finished, you know? They're never going to do anything like the Hollywood ending. They're going to never do anything as awesome as that heel turn. Like, it could be like an exercise where it just makes clear, very, very clear, that one promotion is starting to really hot up creatively, and one might have been like just pretty damn great all along in certain areas of the show. And this Mariah May thing is like, if you draw attention to AEW being better as a storytelling beast and getting the most out of talent by just doing slop in the Fed, it's not good in this. There's an ongoing shift right now, and again, how much it matters is debatable. But the ongoing shift is AEW is really starting to heat up, okay? And WWE is on the decline. This could realistically further that idea. And how do they introduce Mariah May to WWE screens? How? With a promo train. It's like, can you do anything else? Are you even trying anymore? Do you think you have to try? Or do you just ask for a promo train? I don't care. She's here now.
She's the last one, so last word, well done. That's,
you know what I mean?
That's like enough. That's like,
there's an arrogance seeping into WWE's approach and everything else, and it just, I will say as well, this promo train was disastrous. I'd like to think you would think it was farcical and disastrous. I didn't think Mariah May looked good here or sounded good. I said it. Go back and listen. I've always thought a lot of her, she's a promo in front of the mirror person where it's all very practiced, and sometimes she's a bit cringeworthy, Mariah May, in her promos. She looked like she was way too happy to be there. There's a difference between being really happy to be there and harnessing your enthusiasm in the role and feeling it. She was just smiling after everything. She could barely get her words out, those long pauses. It felt fangirly. It's like she turned up in AEW as a character who was a fangirl of Toni Storm. She turned up in WWE as a fangirl of WWE. And it's just mad how... By the way, as well, conventional wisdom would suggest that Mariah May is going to be the NXT Women's Champion imminently. JC Jane, I mean, it's in storylines, is the transitional champion. What a cell phone the last 6 months of the NXT Women's Division has been. When a year ago, I had to be told that's the best, it's the best. Can't be that good if you're just throwing this belt at every available free agent who comes in. How good could it possibly be if who's been the champion recently? Vaquer, Julia.
Before that was Roxanne Perez.
Yeah. So from the Vaquer, Julia, Jordan, Grace, as soon as like some big free agents became available, I know Grace hasn't had it yet, but she probably will. Oh, get out the way, you! Mariah May's a champion. Julia's a champion. How good is this division? And I'm not subtweeting it here because I'm talking about Reddit and Twitter. Best. How good can it be? And what a cell phone it is of your performance center, of your booking, of the investment that there are NXT fans who like JC Jane, Lola Vice, Jada Parker, and believe they can go on to great things. What a cell phone all of this Mariah May, Vaquer, Julia stuff is. And what you're doing is very slowly, you're not helping the shift. You're telling people, and this is wild considering what I've had to hear for the past 6 years, you're indirectly telling people, oh, AEW's great. Look at these great talents they produce that we're going to have. And they can spin it with the Tony Fumbled stuff. But what you're really doing to people with eyes, ears, and brains is saying that they're better at marketing and creating and pushing and building talent than we are. None of this is helping them at all. They're having a nightmare in terms of who they're pushing, who they're signing, what they're telling you. It's just...
Even away from the AEW element of that and how, they've promoted them well enough that they can be signed up and brought in completely in the character that you saw on Dynamite and they're just ready to go. There's another self-own within that, I would say, is that, and maybe people don't think as deeply about this and just won't care. Maybe that is an element of it.
But maybe there's the whole, we showed them, we took their talent. We took those great talents that they built over there with great creative and story. Have you heard yourself? Why don't you extrapolate your thought and realize what it means?
But I think it goes beyond AEW. And I think, any narrative can be spun any way you want it. But I think it goes beyond AEW. If you look at so they've got effectively two women's divisions in NXT, the North American tier and the world tier, right? Roxanne Perez had that title for ages and ages and ages because she was absolutely far and away the best wrestler in that division. And that was clear from the moment she entered it because she already had all this training outside of the Performance Center. Like night and day difference between her and 90% of the NXT roster, and she's ultimately made the champion and the kind of the ace of the division while they stack the rest around her. In the meantime, Kalani Jordan becomes the first ever North American champion, and she is, for the most part, a Performance Center prospect done good, and there is plenty of them. Same as Sol Ruki.
Yeah.
Stephanie Vaquer wins it, only to just like transition her like away from Julia and whatever, and then she has to give it away straight away. They're kind of telling you that the actual dyed-in-the-wool Performance Center women are only really North American level, and then if you go Roxanne, Julia, Stephanie, it's going to go to Mariah May, and then it's probably going to go to Jordan Grace. The only person who is dyed-in-the-wool Performance Center, JC Jane, they are casting as a paper champion loser.
Yes.
Like every other one of the women, they are telling you, kind of belongs down there, unless we sign somebody good who's never actually
entered. That's what I'm saying.
But like that's not just AEW TV characters. That's all of wrestling, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying as well. They're saying it's a self-own, an indictment of their own talent development system. It's implicitly canon there.
Yeah,
it's not very good actually compared to these. And it's explicit. Like Drew McIntyre talked about in 2020, I had to go away and reinvent myself. Subtext is, had to like go and learn how to work, not in this system. Cody Rhodes, I need to finish my story now. I'm ready, having, succeeded where I couldn't in this system. It's like the prevailing theme of WWE. CM Punk, I had to go away and, reinvent myself. if you want to get great here, you have to fail here. Roman Reigns. It is canon that WWE's bad in WWE canon.
One of the only exceptions is Jey Uso, and most people hate him. Like, don't like his work or whatever. Like, he's the guy that stuck at it. Rubbish. Like.
Anyway, following all this, they show you Ricky Saints' larynx contusion next to a normal one, and it looks bad. Then we see Mr. Iguana, Octagon Jr. and Aerostar are there in the audience.
All the lads.
Hello, lads.
All the stars.
Look, I'm with Wilbourn, man. Mr. Iguana, immediately, I'm like, that guy rules.
Yeah.
Got an iguana puppet, hasn't he? What's not to love?
He's
God, they're going to do some skit with Regal.
Oh my God.
Like,
going to meet Bobby Belly.
Mr. Iguana's looking for his jacket backstage, and like he sees Regal. He's like, "Oh, you've got my jacket." No, buddy, I haven't. It's just his pet crawling along his jacket. His jacket was hanging up all along.
Oh, that's great. But he's there to watch Ethan Page and Vanity Project versus Dragon Lee, Javon Evans, Laredo Kid, and Sean Legacy. Obviously, the babyfaces are in control for the most part, but they isolate. I think Sean Legacy. Ethan Page comes in, tries to the ego's edge, but Legacy gets out of it, drop kicks Page through the ropes. All the heels basically get sent to the outside, and there's dives from everyone, well, except for Laredo Kid, who goes to hit the ropes, comes back, and just gets a huge kick in the face from Ethan Page as we go to a break. When we come back, Javon Evans is in trouble. There's a leg sweep into a standing shooting star press for a 2 count. Page comes in, but he tries for the twisted grin. That gets broken up. Evans hits a super kick, and I think Dragon Lee comes in so he can clear house. Everything breaks down. Page hits a power slam for a 2 count. Lee and Kid have to make the save. Kid and Evans hit a dive. It's Legacy and Page in there. And in the end, Brad Baylor, goes up top with Dragon Lee, but he knocks him down into a tree of woe. Operation Dragon gets the win for the babyfaces.
Right, in spite of the good wrestling here, right? Like,
Wasn't that much of it, to be honest.
Not loads, but in spite of the stuff that was decent, the Dragon Lee substitute reveals the biggest problem with this match, which is that they have just dropped in a Rey Fenix replacement and worked almost an identical match. You can't have visualized this going much different had it had Rey Fenix in it. And that to me is the problem, because there's a million autopilot matches now. There's a million different like wrestlers that, oh, what's your stuff, right? How's that gonna like pop the crowd there? And then what do we crash to this commercial with? And what do we come back from this commercial with? And what's your heat thing? Yeah, right, okay, good, off we go. Like, this was like loveless and artless, and none of them, all of them are connected, and none of them are connected. You know, because they're all in these various stories on the various shows they've got to work over various days, and like, I wanted them to slow it down, kid, and like replace. Oh, Rey Fenix couldn't make it. Can we just lift this match off completely and like find something between 2 characters that are involved in something else, rather than just having this like, loveless multi-man match.
It's loveless. That's the word. It's like they don't even like this style. Why would you buy AAA? You've never, and I know AAA is hardly like, at least at recent times. It started life as this disruptor, and in recent times it's just become this total joke. A total joke. But like, it's just so, when you see the matches laid out like they are with, and maybe it'll be a little bit more, for a lack of a better word, authentic on Saturday, right? It just looked like a WWE version of a style that they've never really liked. And it's weird, like Hickenbottom and Michael and Levesque have both spoken about how, if it was up to us, we'd do it differently, slower, but it's what these fans seem to like these days. It's even loveless from their perspective as well. Yeah. They've said that. They've both said that. So I didn't feel, it's a great word, loveless. It's like, I just felt like, where's the energy? Where's the thought, the detail? I think the wrestling was particularly good here in various points. Part of that as well is the thing that I say most weeks, and I feel like it's actually beneficial to mention most weeks. A lot of these talents don't deserve like the same level of scrutiny and analysis you would give, I don't know, Dynamite. Yeah. Or, I mean, not Sean Legacy. Who's the one we like out of Swipe Right?
Brad Baylor.
Brad Baylor just completely lost at one point. And it's a very intricate match. Probably a flaw of the booking. He shouldn't have been in it. Mm-hmm. Like, was it Dragon Lee? He was about to do the dive, and he's like, the hell's the guy who's meant to catch us? Well, it's a WWE match. We can't, and it's an 8-man. It's very hard to just call it on the fly because there's so many chains in it. there's only like links in the chain. I was like, well, I'm just gonna have to eat, I guess. And then he just did precisely that. And this Baylor kid, it's not really his fault. It's an 8-man. He's wet behind the ears. He's knee way. And Dragon Lee did nothing. He dove into nothing.
Phoenix on a plane somewhere watching. Oh no, I'm gutted. I missed my flight.
Yeah.
We go to Ava's office. She's not there.
Two missed flights.
That's really good.
It's all good stuff.
The two assistants are there. It's Stevie Turner and I couldn't remember the name of the other guy.
It's Robert Stone.
There with the NXT champ, Obafemi, who asks about the contract, and in walks Jasper Troy. He's bigger than Obafemi, and he asks Oba if this is the first time he's ever looked up to someone. Oba's just like, makes no difference. They signed the contract. Title match next week.
Looking forward to that. I want to look at that.
It's just some
Run into each other.
So, Battle of the Behemoths.
Yeah. There's two Bobby Bellies.
Behemoths, whatever.
Sol Ruka and Zarya walking backstage. They see Tatum's feeling sorry for herself. They're like, why didn't you shoot your shot earlier? She said, I'd be alone out there, even with everyone. Izzy Dame says, my purge friends I don't need. Maybe you should too. Anything?
Yeah, the chair has only got 3 legs at the moment, so it is in need of a 4th.
It's a stool.
Yeah, it's a stool. They're not called
what?
The chair.
The culling
chair. It's a stool now.
The chair is currently a stool, so they're needing a 4th leg again. So maybe
Tripod.
This is where business really picked up. We see Tony D'Angelo on the phone. Luca Crucifino walks up to him. Hey, Tony, what's up, man? I haven't heard from you. Oh, you want to speak to me? Yes. How's everything going? Oh, Luca, I ain't got time for this small talk. Tony, after our conversation last week, I began to think about trust, about loyalty. Oh, yeah. You said all those things. Get to the goddamn point. I understand. You don't trust me. I got it. So I made a move to prove I am still loyal. Wow! You did what? Tony, my intention is for you to trust me. So I got us a match against High Rise, but with Z, next week. And a Y in it too. Oh, a tag match? Me and you? Oh, yes. Stax paid High Rise with a Y and a Z to take you out before Battleground. And then Wes got one over on you. Don't you think it's time for us to retaliate against them? Oh, so you want to do this for the family, but you didn't get my consent first? Tony, with all due respect, we're not really a family anymore, are we?
Oh.
Wonderful performance, as always, Wilbourn. It was like I was in the room with them both. This is...
In fact, sorry, that performance is... need a glass of water or something. Just, I don't want to get groggy boys for the main event. Yeah. TNA World Title match. So I'm gonna head out. You tell us your thoughts on how amazing this is.
He's got a cup there.
Yeah, do you want to see this?
Unhealthy, risky, isn't it? No, don't know where he's been. Back in a sec.
I'm kind of glad Wilbourn's nipped out for a second, Sidge, because I don't want to say it around him. Because I know how much he loves all this stuff.
It's awful.
It's fallen off real bad.
It's fallen off real bad. And it's got to the point where I'm not necessarily saying that he's completely disingenuous and he's a troll, but what's he getting out of it? What is it about NXT? I understand why he just loved 2.0. Appeals to his sensibilities. It's totally goofy and wacky and like heightened and like, I understand why he loves. Do you think he's like the guy's in a state of denial?
Well, his favourite characters, they're done, aren't they?
They're done.
Luca was right. This family, it's done.
It's done. It's done. Like this constant. I mean, maybe it's a cry for help or something.
Possibly.
This whole thing of like, those kids are going to get it back together, and it's like
he didn't even want to cover it. He's left now. Of all times.
I don't think legitimately. I think he knows deep down. But he's got this like that the force field of denial in the mind. There's things on this show where it's like this is not the NXT 2.0 that I genuinely believe he fell head over heels in love with. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe he needs to have a word with himself.
Yeah, sorry, I kind of shouldn't open the door this second. How's it going, guys?
That's good stuff.
Yeah, not too bad. That's true with that whole door thing, but I got it. I think I got it now. Hey, what a great show last night, right, guys? We all loved it, didn't we? Didn't we?
Yep.
Yep.
Quite right.
I
Hey, you know what?
can't speak for Will. Actually, no, I can. We're working under the assumption, Stacks, he's not here again on a Wednesday.
Missed you on it, mate. That's what it is. I missed you on it.
We just came to the conclusion that we genuinely believe he fell head over heels with NXT 2.0, and he still wants it to be those days so badly that he's starting to deny what's becoming an objective reality.
I think you're both dumbasses and the show's brilliant and beating Dynamite in the ratings, too. So, there we have it. Anyway, hey, TNA World Title, $500,000 match. Yeah, whatever. You can make anything up. Okay, TNA World Title match. You know, I thought TNA just stood for Total Nonstop Action. I did a little bit of Googling last night. You ever see what that also stands for? What? What is it?
Tits and ass.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, hey, Sidney, what's the deal with ass? Huh?
Ass? Well, it's a part of the body. It's primarily used. It's like the glutes. You take crap out of it after you eat foods. That's what it's. That's more like the sphincter than the ass. And the ass just helps you walk around, helps you get around, helps you get off. In the bedroom at night or during the day or anywhere. At any time, if you're a certain age. I'm not that age anymore. But that's the deal with ass.
Good to know. You know, actually, my missus has got a whale tattooed on her ass. The only problem is it used to be a goddamn dolphin. Anyway, 3 questions, 3 jokes for you. Question joke number 1. Sitch, what's the difference between ass and gluten? Huh?
I can eat ass.
That's good. That's good.
Close enough. Nobody eats gluten no more.
Bingo!
Hamflett, what is the difference between an ass kisser and a brown nose? Huh?
What's he getting at here?
So like, I don't know.
I was trying. Yeah, it feels like one of them big laugh and then like it's how far the face has been pushed into the ass.
Yeah, like an inch.
Yeah, like chuckle about 4 or 5 inches.
Good, not right. Pretty goddamn close, though. Just different kind of wording. What's the difference between an ass kisser and a brown nose? Depth perception. Question joke number 3. Speaking of asses, holes and what have you.
What have you?
How do you cover 12 holes with 1 hole?
That's more like a riddle. A joke.
Keep you guessing after yesterday.
Yeah.
How do you... Yeah, for me, it's the preview. History was made on the preview. I will not, yeah, just listen to it.
You should. Every week.
How does 1 hole cover 12?
How do you cover 12 holes with 1 hole?
Yeah, kids love riddles. This is probably what I tell the kids, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I like them giving them like sort of like mind benders, you know? Yeah, well, in my mind, I don't know the answer, so let's have it.
How do you cover 12 holes with 1 hole? Take a flute and shove it up your ass. See you later, guys. Stop.
Oh! Hey.
But more jovial this week. Bye, Stacks.
A lot better now. Oh, bloody hell. What's happened here?
It's Dax has been in and he's gone crazy again.
Typical. What did you think of last night's show?
I thought it was great.
Yeah, I loved it.
Wasn't that bloke had sense? Right.
Yeah, but like he
Wasn't on it.
was...
I can appreciate it even more. He's far enough away to be able to...
He...
Subjective at the end of the day, innit? You can't just objectively say whether the show's good or not. Right.
He was a bit like you. He was a bit like... It's fine, you know?
It
He's pretending.
beat Dynamite in the ratings last week, so...
That's what he said.
That's what you said as well.
Oh, it's a coincidence, isn't it? Right, main event of the evening. TNA World title on the line. Trick Williams against Mike Santana with Elijah.
Oh my God.
In the crowd. Winner faces him against all odds, of course.
That is the first, when Sidge reaches across, and that's a fun bit. And I was like, oh no, maybe sometimes it's a shoot and he doesn't want you to press that button because I couldn't get past the laptop there. And I was like, don't disrespect that button.
Yes.
Pressing it for frigging Elijah in the crowd.
So it's not, it is a shoot.
I didn't know
I
that.
hate it when it's a sanctity.
Yeah. I've never felt that before.
Early on, Trick hit a slap. Was talking some trash. And Santana just gave him a look. Shoves Trick into the corners, beats him up. Back suplex, front slam. I think that takes us to a break, possibly. Santana eventually gets out of a
Unforgettable stuff.
Boston Crab on the break. Puts Trick in the corner, splashes him. Goes to the corner punches, but gets hit with a snake eyes from Trick. And a Trick kick gets a nice 2 count. He's hitting Santana with chops, but that just fires him up. And they exchange some kicks to the head. Santana's really rolling here now. Death Valley Driver, they're both down. Santana hits a cutter for a nice 2 count, gets a cannonball in the corner and a 450. You think this is it? Santana's TNA World Champion. But Trick Williams just gets a finger on the bottom rope. And as a result, this Trick Williams gets away from Santana. He needs to recover. He bails to the outside. And then I think he tries to get disqualified, but he gets involved with Elijah, grabs his guitar, and smashes it at ringside. This obviously takes the referee's attention. And out of nowhere, first class show up of TNA. Casey Navarro pulls Santana out the ring. And there is the former top dollar, AJ Francis, to chokeslam Santana.
What are you doing here?
On the announce table, they chuck him back in. Trick shot, 1, 2, 3. Trick Williams has a new stable as he stands tall with his new mates at the end of this show.
That was as soon as the whole trailer, I was like, whoa, first class. Never in my wildest dreams.
I never dreamed of this.
Never thought of it. Never once thought of this. I couldn't believe it. I'd never once considered it. Whoa. I will give them this. Maybe it's because the idea of watching TNA bores me, and boring now makes me feel anger. That Trick Williams forming a stable with TNA wrestlers as this like insurgent TNA champion has actually kind of made him look like a convincing heel for the first time. This feels like it's actually getting him over a hurdle, this TNA title thing. Maybe that's to NXT's credit, it's to Shawn Michaels' credit, whatever.
It is.
They're completely using and abusing the brand for that benefit. Like, because what will happen is that when he loses the title, he'll be like, what are you going to do in TNA? Nothing. You're going to go to Raw or SmackDown and try and get over Carmelo Hayes again. But, like, that's actually helping Trick Williams, so fine. The match was nothing, and it existed to sell like a TNA pay-per-view match. And, like, a month ago, it was like... WWE relationship with TNA, like levels AEW. It's like, no, I think it's just in fact.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I just, like, Santana's stock dropped a bit. Excellent. Elijah's stock was low to begin with, so it stayed right where it was.
Yeah, it's never getting any higher, is it?
Yeah. Trick. Got a modicum of, out of this. All of it. All of these wrestlers in a modicum of it.
Yeah, I will say that I thought this was a lot more dramatic. I saw the remaining time on the old Netflix on demand.
It was going to be a title change.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I thought with that 450, I thought, hello.
I said
Finger on the ropes.
because there was such minimal time left, my brain was like, all right, okay, retain, obviously. There were the odd moment where I just thought, they've worked something well there. In that very detached way, you saw me at freaking Wembley Stadium going mad for Swerve Daniels, and it was obviously not like that. But, I was like, that was quite well done. Oh, the people are behind it. But then again, these idiots believe anything in that bloody cult office, cult headquarters, friends and family. I will say, I have seen far more loose, wonky, lost Trick Williams performances. This is the kind of thing that Santana, they will look at that and think, right, that's someone we can sign to a contract at some point. I really liked the Santana Enziguri in this match. He just seemed to, like, propel into it. So many times it's like a lean back gimmick where, and I know it's wrestling, so it has to look a little bit wonky. He's not trying to hit people full force in the face, but the Enziguri is usually like It's a visual thing where they kind of stay static in the air and just move their feet. He's sort of like launched into it. Like there's an urgency to his work, a level of commitment to it. I was impressed with Santana here. I was.
Maybe I should give him
Wasn't
more
like-
credit for thinking, oh, actually, I'm sort of engaged with Trick as a heel for the first time. Maybe there was some dark art stuff that worked me there.
Yeah, maybe.
More credit to him.
Give the whole show more credit, if anything. But let us know your thoughts on NXT in the comments.
It's not 2.0 anymore.
That's even better. No, maybe we wouldn't go that far. At WhatCulture WWE on X, you can follow all three of us there. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
Follow Michael Sidgwick at
Sidgwick.
Follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE, as I said. And make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. The Dynamite preview is available right now. We'll be here to review Dynamite tomorrow. But for now, this has been the NXT review. My thanks to Hamflett, to Sidgwick, to Stacks. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.